Europe is one of the most urbanized places in the world. Recent statistics show more than half of the continent's population lives in cities or within the proximity of an urban environment. Along with being the lifeblood of Europe, these urban spaces have also emerged as new exotic destinations. So popular these urban cities that they dwarf their traditional peers. And one such city is SALZBURG, located on the banks of the river SALZBURG, just next to the German border. It is home to Europe's oldest restaurant and the birthplace of the famous Mozart balls. Talking of Mozart balls, did you know that 350 million pieces of these sweets are consumed annually? To put it into perspective, this is the equivalent to the distance from New York to Beijing, with a balance to reach Shanghai. But more about Mozart balls later. If you are planning a long excursion to Europe and still wondering where to start, SALZBURG is worth visiting. In this video, we will highlight some of the reasons why you should consider visiting SALZBURG. Are you ready? Let the adventure begin! Population. Covering a total area of 65.65 kilometers squared, SALZBURG is Austria's fourth largest city with a population of 157,245. This makes it one of the most sparsely populated cities in Europe and an ideal location for tourists looking for a laid-back vibe. Its sparse population aside, SALZBURG receives over 1.6 million tourists annually, which is a commendable number considering a city like Liechtenstein, between Austria and Switzerland, receives 100,000 tourists annually. In terms of demographics, the city has a healthy mix of communities, with Germans, Bosnians, Serbians, and Romanians being the most prominent. Things to do. The diversity of SALZBURG does not end with its population, as there are plenty of places to visit and things to do. Upon landing, the first thing you will notice is the city's bustling music scene. SALZBURG's streets are packed with buskers, harmonic performers, and opera singers who entertain the locals and tourists during the day into the night. Unsurprisingly, the city is christened the Stage of the World, with one of its most notable sons being Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, the greatest composer of Western music that ever lived. Throughout the year, SALZBURG hosts 4,000 plus cultural events, including the internationally acclaimed SALZBURG Festival. And if you are a movie lover or historian, you can take a stroll through the same scenery and scenes you saw in the 1965 film Sound of Music. Beyond the musical fame, SALZBURG is a great place to wonder and marvel at pretty buildings and historic Baroque architecture. Listed as a UNESCO Heritage Site in 1997, the city has plenty of perfectly preserved historical buildings, with the most popular being Hagenauer House, the birthplace of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. The building's bright yellow facade along the river front provides the perfect background for a photo opportunity. While here, remember to visit the wonderful passageways known as Durchhauser in Getreidegasse. These streets are lined with quaint old merchant homes dating from the 15th to the 18th centuries, and they have been listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Other noteworthy historical landmarks and buildings in the city include SALZBURG Old Town, Residenzplatz Square, Kaprun Castle, the 17th century SALZBURG Cathedral, and the Salzburger Weihnachtsmuseum, Christmas Museum. Along with the quaint architecture and music-filled streets, SALZBURG is also incredibly romantic. The contemporary Marktstag Bridge and multiple horse carriages in the city are decorated with thousands of coloured love locks, making them irresistible for photography lovers. SALZBURG is also famous for its magical pink sunsets, which attract huge crowds at the Embark steps near the Kapuzinerberg Monastery. Looking to get a bird's eye view of the city instead, 30 minutes from the Kapuzinerberg Monastery is the towering Hohensalzburg Fortress, which offers some spectacular vistas of Salzburg. You could also head up to the Museum of Modern Art, which gives you an unmetered view of the city and its surroundings from a vantage point. If you're a sucker for outdoor activities, Salzburg is dramatically framed by snow-capped Alps, mountains, meaning the views are spectacular from every angle of the city. This also means that the mountains are right on your doorstep. so you can combine a day in the city with a day of adventure along one of the many hiking routes. You can also join the locals for a trip to the mountains to hike, bike, run or ski depending on the season. The city of Salzburg is rich in fine concept restaurants to satisfy every taste. One of the most popular spots among tourists is St. Peter's Stiftskeller, which is Europe's oldest restaurant. Located inside St. Peter's Abbey, the restaurant opened in 803 CE, and diners have told tales and dined in the ancient restaurant, which is something you should also emulate. Careful attention is paid to the precise preparation of classic Austrian cuisines, with the most popular dish being Tafelspitz, comprising boiled beef, minced apple and horseradish. If it is the happy highs that you are after, the restaurant has a packed wine cellar featuring premium wines and drinks from around the world. Another legendary restaurant in Salzburg that you can try is the Sacher Grill, formerly known as the Salzach Grill. It serves the famous Salzburger Nockerl and Tafelspitz, as well as a variety of Austrian beers. Oddly enough, despite all the Austrian severity and composure, it was they who gave the world countless sweet varieties. From cinnamon sugar, apple strudel rolls and raisins, the country is a haven for confectionery lovers, but perhaps one confectionery that has become somewhat of an emblem of Austria and Salzburg in particular are the Mozart balls. These delicious chocolate pralines were invented by confectioner Paul Fürst in 1890, and they went ahead to receive a gold medal at the 1905 World Exhibition in Paris. So popular are they that it is believed that the golden ball sculpture in the Kapitelsplatz Square was built in honor of the Mozart balls. Today, they have been replicated and adapted worldwide, with 13 different companies in Salzburg still manufacturing them to date. With that said, however, the only brand allowed to use the name Original Salzburger Mozart Kugel is Konditorei Fürst, which is also domiciled in the city. Salzburg is also a great place to shop for souvenirs, clothing, Christmas decorations and anything you want. One key highlight is Getreidegasse, a notable street and stunning shopping mile brimming with traditional weavers, confectioners and tailors alongside international chains. The distinct feature of Getreidegasse is the uniform design of the shop sign's styling. It is easily one of the few places where McDonald's traditional red and yellow logo is replaced by subtle golden alphabets. The best time to visit Salzburg. You have taken a virtual tour of Salzburg and seen the magical place that it is. But wait, when is the right time to pack your luggage and actually visit the place? Well, the best time to visit Salzburg is from September to October, when the summer crowds have fizzled and the beautifully pruned and manicured gardens are almost empty. Whilst the beautiful hills don't begin to sing and bloom until March and April, the weather in the city is still a bit chilly. The summer, which runs between May and August, on the other hand, has gorgeous warm weather. The only problem when visiting during summer is the increased traffic, which also translates into higher prices. Still, Salzburg winter is relatively cold, with temperatures dipping as low as 20 degrees. If you are a skier, this is probably the right time to visit Salzburg, as the surrounding mountains welcome lots of snow. Needless to say, a few gardens remain open during winter, providing you with plenty of space to take brisk walks in the winter weather. What's your take on the fabulous city of Salzburg? Does it ignite your travel itch? Or is it just another overrated city in Europe? Comment in the comment section below and we will be happy to read your feedback.